guys, it's a big thing having black representation, and I got LeBaron McWhorter on here. Y'all heard me talk about LB earlier. LB, I was telling them when in growing up in Mobile, I didn't have my first black director experience until I got to high school under Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Smith. And when I
Mm-hmm.
got there, and I'm scrolling through this flip book, and we're asking questions like, who's this person? And he was like, oh, that's LeBaron McWhorter. He was a student here. He arranged and wrote some of this music. And he said, that was Jerome Campbell. I was like, they was black? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be here. I'm in the right place. So like, I'm in the right, and that was before I even knew you. But it was like your music still put a stamp, and then to see where you are now and looking at that beginning, and it's like, yeah, this is this man legit. I'm definitely going to Alabama. Say I'm going wherever these people in this book going because they look like me. So the question I pose to everybody else is: introduce yourself, tell us about your musical journey, and what do you think about the importance of having and I'm gonna throw in what Kendall said: effective black males or black people in music education.
Wow, that's a good question. All right, well, just to introduce myself, I'm LeBaron McWhorter. I'm currently the associate director of bands at Miles College. I'm also an elementary music teacher in Birmingham City Schools, and I've been teaching for about 13 years. I think this past year just made 13 years for me. Like Malcolm said, I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. Born and raised there. Came up through the ranks in Mobile. Got my undergraduate degree at Alabama State University, which is a connection we all have. And came my first job at Jefferson Davis High School, taught for 3 years there. Left Montgomery, went to Atlanta, taught for about 6 years in Atlanta at Jonesboro High School. Left there, and now I'm in Birmingham. But to get to your question, the reason why you said it's important is about black band directors, right? Effective band directors, right?
Effective, as Kendall said, effective.
Well, my first band director was my middle school band director, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Gregory Ramos.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the middle school band director at Hillsdale Middle School. Himself and the school doesn't exist anymore. Rest in peace to Mr. Ramos. Mr. Ramos passed away, I think, a couple years ago. But he was my first band director. He was a black guy and an HBCU graduate. He graduated from Alabama A&M University. And at the time, he himself and this other black band director that was, in my opinion, I believe these two gentlemen were probably the most influential band directors in Mobile at the time. It was him and Mr. Colson at Dunbar Middle School. And two jokers ran the city because everybody knew that students coming out of those programs were going to be effective band or going to have effective students. We're going to come out of school knowing how to read. This is middle school now. I'm talking about they ran it. And Hillsdale it's not no pushover community in Mobile. Hillsdale was smack dab in the middle of Mobile Terrace. And like Mobile Terrace was rough. And then for me, the school was completely on the opposite side of town. So as a sixth grader coming to Hillsdale, I mean, I really didn't know I wanted to be in band. I was signing up for class. My mom was like, hey, you want to be in band? I was like, I guess so. It's something to do. Signed up for it, and they asked me what instrument I wanted to play. I just happened to pick trumpet in sixth grade. And Mr. Ramos was the one that got me started. Like my memory is kind of fuzzy about all that, about how I got started. Like a lot of the stuff that I do now as a band director, like I don't even really remember if he did those same things with me. But the thing that is very influential that he did, he's the one that switched me from trumpet to baritone after my sixth grade year. And I was pretty decent at trumpet. I think I made it up to like second chair, but I got beat out by this white guy. I forgot. I think his name was Nick. He was first chair ahead of me, and I could never get ahead of him. And at the end of the year, sitting second chair, my band director, Miss Ramos, came to me. He was like, I think you're doing pretty good at trumpet, but I believe it's one thing is hindering you. So I'm like, okay, what's hindering? He's like, you got some really big lips, son. Like I don't think you're gonna be able to increase your range on that trumpet like you want to. So why don't you think about switching over to baritone? And now, all honesty, I think it was a hustle because we needed a baritone in our band at the time. But
Right.
me, sixth grade me, I ain't know no better. But
Yeah,
I
and band,
believe in Mr. Ramos.
all band directors do that. White and black. You know
Right,
what?
right.
You think you'd be? Come try this for me real quick.
Exactly. He
They say you
hustled
know
me.
you just switched the whole instrument.
See, but the thing was though, as a sixth grade middle school student, and after having a great year with him, I trusted him. He had spent the whole year building trust, not only with me, but with all of us that was in the band at the time. So I trusted him. And then he made it even sweeter. He was just like, you know what? I give you a whole summer of free private lessons. That was my first time having private lessons. And in all honesty, I never had nobody give me that opportunity until I got in college again. But that summer, uh, he gave me the baritone before I left school for that year, sixth grade year. And that whole summer, I think like once a week, I would go to his house over in Mobile Terrace, sit in his living room, and he'd teach me. He restarted me on baritone, and a lot of stuff. Uh, Technically, I was already there because I was already technically proficient on trumpet, as far as reading and understanding the concepts, this, that, and the other. But I was able to progress so much faster and over that summer that when I came back to school, seventh grade year, he put me in advanced band. Like I went from beginning band straight to advanced band, in 1 year, just that summer. And just to him uh, taking that time to instill in me, to make me a better player, but just not also make me a better player, just hold me accountable for my own musicianship and everything. And it's kind of just took off from there. It's been a love affair with baritone and music since then, and I owe that to him. I really do. And just to kind of hit on Mr. Coxum as well, I didn't realize the influence Mr. Coxum had on the city until I got to high school. When I got to high school, got to Murphy High School, our alma mater, and when I got to high school, well, let me go back a little bit. First, eighth grade, when I wanted to getting ready to think about what high school I wanted to go to, I wanted to go to the floor high school. I asked my band director about it. He was like, I was like, Mr. Raymond, man, I want to go to floor high school. He was like, why you want to go to floor high school? Man, because they high step march, this, that, and the other. And it looked like they had fun. And him being real with me, he was like, look, a musician of your caliber, you need to go to Murphy High School. I understand the significance of it now. And at the time, I kind of fought against it a little bit. But again, just like in sixth grade, I still trusted him in eighth grade because he gave me a lot of opportunities. Between seventh and eighth grade, I mean, he took me to honor bands on his own dollar time, driving me from Mobile to Birmingham or Mobile to Huntsville, all these different honor bands within the state of Alabama. So I trusted his judgment. Went to Murphy High School, and again, that was a great decision. Uh, that I was influenced on this part. Get to Murphy High School, and I get to this huge high school, Murphy High School. I think probably still one of the biggest high schools in Mobile. It had
Still
like
is.
2,000 plus students.
Yeah.
So it was like going to
College.
so yeah, college. I'm literally seeing new people for 4 years straight every day
Every
when I'm
day.
up, and I'm like, I didn't know you
I ain't
what
never
you
seen
in
this
here.
person before.
Right,
You go
exactly,
to my church.
exactly. So coming into the band program there, the band program was mixed, but the thing that was really cool about it is that at pretty much all of our sections, the top players in pretty much every section was a black kid, the black child.
Yeah.
So you get to ask them, talking to them, and you find out what school they came from. They come from Dunbar Middle School. And Mr. Coxum had these children playing. I'm talking about chops. Like within our own baritone section, two of my biggest competitions, and matter of fact, one of my crowd brother, Maurice Allen, him and George Bell came from Dunbar. We had a trombone player by the name of Big John, tall dude, huge. But you could tell me I could play trombone. This dude was a red band all state player every year I was there. And he was like a year ahead of me for 3 years straight. The dude made red band all state, killing. Uh, one of my other colleagues, by the name of Joyce McCall, she played clarinet. She came from Dunbar Middle School. She's a college professor at the University of Illinois right now. And then you got Jerome Campbell, was a ranger and on staff at Alabama State for multiple years in a row. A lot of people don't know about our other crowd brother that came in, Marvin. Marvin, in all honesty, y'all can mark my word now. Look him up. He came in with all of us. Marvin was just as good as a trumpet player, if not better than Jerome. Them jokers you just said first and second chair all 4 years as freshmen now, coming into Murphy High School and made all state band all 4 years. When we used to get our music for all state, we get the music like it was a thing for us. We're all of us would be sitting in it at home during the summer, waiting for the all state requirements to come up. We'll get them. I'll be like, yeah, they come up. They usually come up maybe about 2 weeks before band camp. So we'll get them, print them out. We'll be practicing. We'll come back. You're like, yeah, man, I've been working on that all state music. So, we'll be playing them. Jokers like George Bell and no, it really Jerome and Marvin. Jerome and Marvin come in, have all three pieces of their all state music played at tempo, articulation, everything perfect from memory after having it for 2 weeks. I'm talking about these jokers were cold on the instrument. I'm talking about they were the type of people like, man, shoot, I gotta get like them. You know what I'm saying? They talent level was just natural talent. And Mr. Coxum pretty much bred this at Dunbar while he was there. So that joker was a force. And the last person that was like a huge influence on me coming out of Mobile again is Mr. July, Mr. Douglas July. Mr. July's son went to Alabama State. He the one that kind of put me on to Alabama State. And so when coming into my senior year and Murphy deciding on what school I wanted to go to, let me go back. I think it was my junior year. So while I'm at Murphy, I ain't never really heard no HBCUs and nothing like that. So I just so happened to go to the Battle of the Band in Mobile at the time. And I see all these HBCU bands like Jackson State, Alabama State, stuff like that. So it starts sparking my interest. Start check out HBCU bands, stuff like that. I think I applied to like Jackson State, Alabama. Jackson State, North Carolina A&T. Of course, I applied to Alabama State, stuff like that, and went to this. So this same year, we had a parade downtown. So we go downtown. We do this parade. At the parade, we have Viga High School, all the black high schools, Blunt, all them. So after the parade, we coming back on the parade. Me being my 11th grade self, just clowning around. We started roasting these children that was on the bus behind us at Viga High School. Like I'm all out the window just roasting. Man, y'all just going off. I didn't know, but Mr. July was on their bus, sitting on the first bus, right in front, looking at me. And Mr. July this was his first year as assistant principal at Murphy. So he watching me. He see my face. I'm just going off on the back of the bus, all out the window, just going ham. So we get to school. I think that happened like on that Saturday or something. We get to school on that Monday. I'm in the hallway, walking, going to class, and I walk past Mr. July. Mr. July stops, turns around. You come here. I'm like, who you talking to? Because I'm at school, I'm like one of the mouse. I don't do nothing. I be chilling. I don't get in trouble. Be like, you come here. Man, that joker pulled me over. He said, look, if I see your black ass hanging out the back of that bus one more time, acting a fool, me and you gonna have a problem. Man, that joker scared the mess out of me that time. I was scared. But that was the start of like a mentorship from him. Like that joker, after us getting to know each other, like he would call me out of class, just do random activities and just to talk, just talk life with me, put me on a lot of things. And when he heard that I wanted to go to Alabama State, that's when he started turning and started pretty much recruiting me to go to Alabama State. Like he brought Mr. Oliver, Mr. Harris down to the band room. Uh, I go in his office, I just see Alabama State paraphernalia all, just all in his office. Like he was putting me on without really being as vocal because again, the he was the only black assistant principal there at the time. The makeup of the school was still predominantly white at the
Yeah.
time, but he was putting me on. He was doing his part as a black, male at a predominantly white school in a high ranking position. He saw something in me at that point in time that I ain't really seeing myself. So like I said, he brought Mr. Harris and Mr. Oliver on the campus, auditioned me, this, that, and the other. And that bring up another story. When he brought Mr. Harris and Mr. Oliver on, I think it was like my junior year. He had Mr. Turner with him. He used to be the band director at Cylinder High School. Now Mr. Turner, I auditioned for Mr. Turner, and Mr. Turner kind of shot me down. He was like, "Man, you ain't ready to come be in our band, this, that, and the other." So I ain't too much care for that joke, but that'll lead me into another story. I never forgot his face, but I still want to go to Alabama State. Come around senior year, uh, I go up to Alabama State, audition, get a scholarship, this, that, and the other. I come back and tell Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman tried to, that was my high school band director. He was a great band director too. I'm not putting nothing against him. But when I told him, he was like he tried to steer me in another direction.
Try to get you to go
Saying
to
pretty
Southern
much,
Miss.
well, Southern Miss, but he tried to get me to go to this school, Livingstone College at the time. It was like in somewhere in West Alabama. And I was like, dude, I'm not finna go there, man. I'm not finna go there, and I ended up going to Alabama State, and that was one of the best decisions uh of my life, to be honest with you. Alabama State was not my first choice, not my first choice, but it was the choice I needed at that point in time, and it helped, and Alabama State helped shape me into the musician that I am now. And again, I ran up against more black influential music educators at the time. Uh, Mr. Oliver, Mr. Harris, they played a huge part in my development. Uh, Dr. Mondre Thurman played probably the biggest part in my development as a musician. And you got Dr. Jones at Alabama State. He was he was like our piano teacher, but he was always my accompanist, when we were doing little recitals and stuff like that. The thing that made Dr. Jones so cool, Dr. Jones was so cold as a pianist, musician, that a lot of times if you came in there and you were one messing up, he would cover for you. And then he'll tell you after performing, well, Mac Water, you kind of jumped ahead 3 beats and measure 81, but don't worry, I caught you. It was
That
that
sounds
type of
like
thing.
You was a little early.
Right. When he would call you, so you couldn't even be mad. You be like, all right, Prof, all right. You know what I'm saying? So, Dr. Jones had that type of relationship. And, for DeMondre, Alabama State was one of the first schools that gave DeMondre an opportunity to teach at the collegiate level. And again, he had kind of just molded a lot of talent for us that came in. Another Murphy grad that came out and that was just still an awesome musician now, Marcus Rackley. I don't know if you know Marcus Marcus Rackley. Yeah, I know you heard his name.
Oh yeah, I know.
He was he was a tuba player. You talking about probably one of the coldest tuba players to come out of Murphy. He came to Alabama State, and DeMondre groomed him. And the thing that's so crazy, my freshman year at Alabama State, DeMondre kind of literally just threw me in the deep end. As I think as freshmen at Alabama State, you're not supposed to do your performance class recital until like your second semester. Of course, DeMondre had me doing a recital like within the first month of me being at Alabama State. He gave me a piece. I may be probably like second month, but he gave me a piece by the name Panache. I still got it now to the day. He gave it to me. He was like, "Yo, you want to do a performance first semester?" I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You got it. Just go and do it." And so he groomed me, and I did this performance. And after this performance, I guess that kind of put my name out there with all the upperclassmen, music majors in the building. He like, oh, this little joker, he's cold. He can play this, that, and the other. And probably one of the best experiences uh, I probably ever had at Alabama State. During my freshman year, he put me in this tuba euphonium quartet. We the name of my quartet was Steel. It was me. Uh, I played second euphonium. Chatto McCormick, he was a euphonium player. He played first. I think Chatto went on to get his master's in performance from University of Alabama, and he's teaching somewhere else. I don't know exactly what he's teaching at now. Another gentleman by the name of Davin Vance. He's a professional musician with the military army now, recruiter. And then he played second tuba, and you had Marcus Ratcliffe. He played first tuba, and Thurman took that group and it kind of all elevated us. Like to be honest with you, I think he was kind of waiting on someone like me to come in and fill that last spot, because before me, it was just the three of them and him, and he would make up, what he wanted to do with the group. But when I came in, I think he saw that as the perfect opportunity to grow me as a musician, but also push the other three members as musicians as well. And with that group, it kind of developed independence in all of us as musicians. Of course, those jokers was all singing, so they was already halfway out the door. But for me, again, just me being thrown in the deep end, as a part of a chamber group like that, you get handed a piece of music, and you the only person that playing that part. So the rest of your group is depending on you to hold up your end of the deal, as far as learning the music and just being present in the moment. And like a lot of the rehearsals, after he got us started, he probably coached us for maybe like 2 weeks. He'll sit in the rehearsal area with us, which was the recital hall for us. We'll be rehearsing. He'd make a couple of suggestions about this, that, and the other. And then after that, he wouldn't show up. He'd just, every month he may drop in this, that, and the other. But the four of us, we bonded over that experience, and we were really good. Like, I wish I could find some of the recordings of our group at that point in time. But the best thing about that, we went to the University of Alabama. We performed for like a festival, tuba euphonium festival at the University of Alabama, and also at Valdosta State. And both of those events, we got rave reviews. People going crazy because, again, you saw the four Black students from Alabama State University get on stage and just ripping it up, as musicians. Like, we were killing. Like, we played some hard literature. We were playing literature from the Mondre Thurman tuba euphonium quartet, Sotto Voce. And so we were playing like some of that literature, and it was like high caliber literature, and we were just ripping it apart. And as a freshman coming out of high school, the level of music that, not saying we were just playing easy stuff at Murphy, because we were playing some monster stuff at Murphy too. But to go from that to what I was playing here, like the ceiling got pushed up crazy. So that kind of pushed me a lot to move forward in those things. So long story short, we as Black band directors are like super duper important because we inspire our students in ways that a lot of us probably won't even get to see. Of course, we get to see a couple of them, because I have students now that are band directors. I got one student working on his master's degree in tuba performance in Arizona, and got another student that's a college band director in Texas, Thomas Perry. But a lot more of my students, I probably won't even get to see their accomplishments. But it's important because we inspire them. We're like the glue, especially in like middle school and high school. You know how we were in middle school and high school. We were kind of like, man, like, I'm tired of being at the house. I'm tired of hearing from my mom and dad that they trying to tell me to do this, that, and the other. But in the spaces that we touch a lot of students. And again, we are the glue. We're the connective tissue between, that adolescence period and then becoming teenagers, and then becoming young adults. So we are the person that they connect with because we both intertwine in the activity that we both enjoy. So it's important that we continue to inspire, our students and to push them forward in greatness, even when they buck against us. We got to stand for them because we have to see something in them that they don't see in themselves. Just like all the people I just named to you saw something in me at the time that I really didn't see in myself. We got Mr. Ramos, Mr. July, Demondre Thurman, and that's just a few, that didn't have influence on me. You got like Alabama State again, another person, Dr. Horace Lamar. Dr. Lamar, again, another beast at Alabama State. People slept on him. Dr. Lamar was the dean of school of music at that point in time. He's one of the only jokers that I know that come into a class. He'll have his coffee mug. 8 o'clock in the morning, the joker be lit. You be like, man, he can't be on the coffee in that coffee mug. No, that thing was he had liquor in that mug, had some hand dog or something in that mug. But this joker would sit down and teach a class, and the class almost just be like just a conversation. Like he made class feel like a conversation. Like the same thing we admire about Dave Chappelle now. Just the fluency he's able to get on stage and display his art, and it don't feel like he's doing comedy. Dave Chappelle get on stage and he have a conversation about what's going on, and it's just a simple conversation. But he's also still doing his art. The same thing Dr. Lamar used to do. Dr. Lamar would sit down and he have a conversation with you about all these historical time periods and about Bach and about Beethoven, about Mozart, and about all this stuff. And with some of my other music history teachers, it was boring, but with him, I was locked in. And that was just his ability to be that type of influence as a teacher. And I respect all those gentlemen for what they instilled to me and what they helped me to do. Because it wasn't for that joke, I would have never passed this praxis this first time around when I took it. Like it was because of him that stuff that came out of his mouth verbatim was on that test. So long story short, I know it's a little long-winded, but that's why we are important as Black band directors at this point in time. For our students, they look for us for inspiration, someone that can inspire them, that they can relate to, and that they can come to in times of need. And it's important for us to be there. So
you touched on a lot of points that, of course, I connect with because I was a product of Dunbar. I came out of Dunbar.
Mm-hmm.
I was under Miss Ginger Youngblood, and I went from Dunbar straight on to Murphy, and being at Murphy those couple of years, and just you got something in common with a July at Murphy, just like I do. So I'm at Murphy. I'm on tuba. I'm kind of don't know where I want to go to do school. I want to go to Alabama State, and I get 11th grade, and I'm in Doug July Jr.'s geometry.
Yeah.
And in this entire class, there's nothing but Alabama State stuff on the wall. And in that entire year of me, that semester of me being in that class, it was, you're going to Alabama State, right? But it started back in 5th grade, because in 5th grade, I had Jennifer Fields as my 5th grade teacher. Jennifer Fields marched at Alabama State. And all throughout my 11th grade year, going into my entire 12th grade year, Doug July Jr. was on me. You're going to the state, go start getting your stuff ready, whatever. Took me personally 2 or 3 times from Montgomery to Mobile to Montgomery, for a drill, for whatever stuff, if I need to get a ride home. Because after my mom passed, my sister was working in our town. Man, I come up there and get you. I'll bring you down. You know what I'm saying? So he made sure that July made sure that's something about them Julys. They make sure folks.
The July.
That's the whole family.
July Jr. was on me too.
Yeah, you get taken up with a July, you going to Alabama State.